great pleasure to welcome you all to this joyous occasion as we gather here today to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Sunflower Laboratory and Diagnostic Center, which was started by Dr. Vipul and Dr. Darshana Patel in 1998. Today is a very special day for my parents and all the doctors who have shaped this laboratory's success. It is a day where we celebrate countless hours of hard work and sleepless nights. It is a day where we celebrate the dedication and commitment of our team. It is a day where we celebrate the vision and leadership of my father. It is a day where we thank you all for being a part of our journey. We will now begin with our CME. I would request Dr. Dhaval Sangoi to introduce our first speaker of the evening, Sumita Nayak from Abbott, India.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you the first speaker of the evening, Sumita Nayak. She is a product manager, clinical excellence enterprise solutions at Abbott. Her key strengths are immunoassay, clinical chemistry assay with deep knowledge of instrumentation. She has a total experience of 22 years in diagnostics, 13 years in technical application. She has been a speaker at multiple conferences and workshops. I now welcome Sumita Nayak for her speech.
Okay, before we start, firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Vipul and Dr. Darshana ma'am for giving me this opportunity. It's a great honor to stand here as a representative of Abbott in front of all you amazing audience. So thank you so much, sir. I would also like to congratulate you, ma'am, and the entire family of Sunflower for 25 successful years of completion in laboratory and diagnostics. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Abbott, I'm sure you all have all heard about Abbott in various divisions, right? For around 130 years, Abbott has been able to, people in Abbott have been able to serve patients for a better healthcare performance. That's where we talk about Abbott. Dr. Wallace Abbott in 1880, who started with just buying a medical device and running on bicycles just, for treating sick people with the pharmaceutical division. Last but not the least, few slides on the partnership with Abbott has with Sunflower or labs like Sunflower who are quality conscious labs. Abbott partners globally with laboratories and hospitals who are quality conscious, and I'm proudly announced that Sunflower is one of them to be adapting all the new technologies. Thank you. So we have a relation of around 15 years, more than 15 years, I should say. The journey started with a small instrument of Axim to a higher-end modular instrument architect to a big state-of-art instrument, Alinity, which I just showed you. So this entire journey for more than 15 years, moving from single instrument to a modular to a higher-end technology, starting with just routine testing, infectious disease markers, to specialized testing, proteins, HS-tropin in eye, doing in apparently healthy individuals. Sir has adapted that to, apart from that, novel markers like holotranscobalamin or active B12, which helps in detecting the cellular level of vitamin B12, which Abbott is giving. So Abbott has been always partnering with Sunflower Laboratory, adapting to new innovations, new tests, which can help in the betterment of patient healthcare. The journey doesn't stop here. With PCT, with oncology markers, now we are moving forward for NT-proBNP, another cardiac biomarker that we are going to start, sir. I think you agree with this. And my final slide. I talked about the instrumentation, I talked about the quality, I talked about quality-conscious labs like Sunflower, I talked about the test which we do on these instruments. Does that even help? Only this much helps? No. It's the continuous training, continuous workshops we do together so that we can develop these tests to have quality results, accurate results, precise results, so that you will be able to treat your patients in a better way. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Sumita, for your presentation. It was truly impressive. I request the Sunflower team to come up and felicitate Ms. Sumita Nayak. I will now invite Dr. Aditi Salunke to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Vasant Nagwekar.
Good evening to all of you. I take pleasure in welcoming you all to our event, and your presence has made it really precious. Today, as we proceed with the evening, we have with us Dr. Vasant Nagwekar. Sir specializes with infectious diseases, diseases with the immunocompromised host, transplant patients, and patients with invasive fungal diseases at the esteemed Leelavati and HN Reliance Group of Hospitals. Sir has been a great asset to our community, and we felicitate his work in the pandemic towards COVID-19 today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sir as he takes us through recent advances in diagnosing infectious diseases and their outcomes. Welcome, sir.
Thanks, Aditi. Good evening, friends. And at the outset, I'd like to thank both Dr. Vipul Patel and Aditi for inviting me for this talk. Both of them have been very, very kind and helpful throughout my career in Goregaon. Vipul and Aditi, any time of the day, always been very kind and helpful for any patient, not only for me, but everybody. Recent trends in diagnosis of critical infections, the syndromic approach. So, how are these newer diagnostics? I know it's very, very expensive, but does it really change the clinical outcome of the patients? So so we have been doing blood cultures, all these conventional methods of sputum culture and your blood cultures, which take around 3 to 5 days. Sputum cultures also will take 3 days. But are there tests bedside which will 48 hours before that would change the clinical outcome of the patients completely? That is very important. Along with that, also telling you the pattern of resistance. So there are these newer diagnostic tests which are very slightly expensive, but bedside, it's a question of life and death. It will really matter a lot. So these are very important. So what's the syndromic approach? Next slide. So basically, syndromic approach is the symptoms plus sign. Symptom, a physical or mental test that is apparent to the patient. Example, I have an headache. Sign is an objective indication. This is dedicated by a physician's examination. Example is temperature of, so headache and fever. So that is the patient who has come to you with clinical diagnosis. And if he's got a meningitis, how many times have you seen a CSF culture coming positive for a aerobic, meaning the CSF showing strep pneumoniae or H influenza or Neisseria meningitis? Rarely, I don't see in 30 years of my practice, rarely you'll get a culture which is coming positive. So other tests which would tell you bedside within 2 hours that what this patient is dealing with, and that is what we are interested in learning. So this is basically what I'm going to talk to you about is the BioFire film array systems. And these are the various rapid tests which are available. One is the BioFire respiratory panel. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Nagwekar, for your valuable insights on diagnosis of infectious diseases. I request the Sunflower team to please join us on stage and felicitate Dr. Nagwekar.
Any questions the audience has, I'll be happy to answer.
Sunflower Laboratory through this short video presentation. invite my father, Dr. Vipul Patel, to share his memorable journey of 25 years at Sunflower Laboratory.
So, thank you for coming and joining us today. Good evening, friends, invited guests, and my respected seniors. 40 years ago, on this same day, India won a Cricket World Cup. No one expected us to win. We were the underdogs, but we did it. It was all about team building and hard work. India won because all players contributed. Mohinder Ramanath to Madan Lal, Sunil Gavaskar to Sandeep Patil, and of course the brilliant captain Kapil Dev. A good laboratory is similar to a cricket team, where everyone contributes to make it a lab, a success story. It's widely accepted fact that lab results impact 70% of medical decisions. Clinical laboratories is a complex operation that needs strong foundation of infrastructure, technology, knowledge, and dedicated team. And these 4 pillars led us to our success. Sunflower Lab started in 1998 with just 400 square feet of space. We were just 6 of us doing 70 to 80 different tests. We had nothing much to offer apart from routine lab tests. But an incident in October 1999 changed us forever. A senior pediatrician called and requested us to start dengue test as she had several suspected cases. We responded quickly by starting dengue IgM ELISA test in next few days. And we were the first to start these tests in our area. In those days, most cases of fever, we all treated fever with low platelets as malaria, and dengue test was hardly done. To our surprise, there was an outbreak of dengue. We were reporting many positive cases. And when you report too many cases, just from one area, the news channels come up. And our interviews were taken by major news channels and newspapers, creating instant awareness of dengue. This incident created a local reference lab image for us. We had realized that we could be different. As we moved on, various new diagnostic tests were coming up across the world. There was a diagnostic test boom. HIV, hepatitis B and C were spreading fast. New infections with antibiotic resistance, MDR-TB, and autoimmune disorders were rising. This prompted us to act and expand our lab. In 2004, we moved into a new 2,000 square feet lab with well-equipped immunoassay and microbiology departments. With a team of 25 professionals, we started many new tests which our clinicians wanted. In 2009, 2011, 12, novel new viruses were being reported in some parts of the world. It was the time of swine flu, MERS, SARS, and also many new cancer-causing mutations were being reported across the world. It was time for molecular pathology and molecular microbiology. Labs needed to gear up for this to handle these contagious infections. So finally, in 2015, we moved to a 6,000 square feet state-of-the-art diagnostic center, which included new molecular department, and this new setup gave us a lot of flexibility. In 2017, these viruses came to our doorstep. We started getting many requests to start swine flu testing, but for that, we needed a biosafety level 2B lab. We immediately responded by creating this facility and also got it NABL certified. We did more than 10,000 swine flu tests over the next few years and gained good experience in handling contagious viruses. In 2020, when COVID-19 hit, we were all set. We got ICMR permission very early in May 2020. It was only when we started testing could every one of you begin to work again. There was a pause of almost 2.5 months, before labs were responding to hospitals' requests for quick reports of dengue. people from all walks of life could again go back to work. We did more than 1 lakh tests for clinicians and ordinary citizens. We were the only lab which could do the COVID-19 test using 3 different technologies. Gene Expert and TrueNat gave the results in 1 hour so that on clinicians' demand, and Quant Studio for mass testing would take 12 to 16 hours. There was never a delay beyond 24 hours. In our journey to build a solid foundation, we partnered with some incredible diagnostic companies. The first important technology was, as you already heard, Exim, then came Architect, and then the Alinity. With the wide test menu that Alinity had, we had, again, great flexibility. For the routine hematology and clinical lab, we partnered with Japanese diagnostic giant Sysmex, whose systems featured innovative parameters which helped clinicians. So with all of our routine tests taken care of, we wanted a good molecular test partner, and that we found in an Indian company called Molbio. The company demonstrated us many times their equipment. We rejected them many times, but they kept pursuing us. And today I'm proud to say this Make in India company does majority of molecular work in my lab. We also planned, at the same time, we are also planning for our future. You already heard about this world-class system in detail from Dr. Westin Nagwekar. Last year, we completed the research validation of this brilliant AI-based digital microscopy system from Horiba. We did 200 test validation, and this system, I can tell you, is going to be the most important tool for the pathologists going ahead in the near future. It will make sure we do not miss any abnormalities under our microscope. This system will also help us immensely in histopathology and also in telepathology. All the success we achieved could not have happened without my team. They have worked tirelessly and sacrificed family time. I am very proud to say that majority of our core team has been with us for more than 15 years. In last 25 years, we have operated 365 days without a single holiday. This fact just goes to show the incredible commitment of this team. With all these important pillars in place, we successfully served 2 million patients in last 25 years. Soon after starting our lab, I joined Rotary International, which gave me an opportunity to be part of medical community service. We started working closely with my Rotary Club of Bombay Northwest and several NGOs. We have carried out more than 100 medical camps free of cost. Our low-cost diagnostic initiatives serves almost 5,000 underprivileged patients each year. They are served daily by our touchpoints at LNM Rotary Center, Rajasthan Seva Samiti, Sai Leela Medical Trust, and Maharashtra Jan Vikas Kendra. I thank all of them for allowing us to participate in this noble work. We have been blessed and always supported by my teachers, suppliers, partners, fellow pathologists, clinician colleagues, clients, our families and friends. Many of them are here today. We will always be thankful to all of you. Before I end, on a personal note, on a personal front, today I remember my father, late Dr. Balu Patel, my father-in-law, late Dr. Naveen Patel, who are my role models. My mother, an extraordinary woman who was a housewife, became Mummy Ji for all my lab staff. My father's friends, late Dr. G.V. Joshi and Dr. Raman Mistry. Dr. Raman Mistry is here with me, who managed my father's clinics selflessly for 6 years till I completed my education. My father's friends, Sharat Kaka, Kiran Kaka, late Ambu Kaka, and their families, who stood behind us in difficult times. But now, last but not the least, before I end, There are labs with similar story of dedication and hard work in every suburb across this city and all across this country. They will always be your friendly neighborhood labs run by doctors, so keep supporting them to help you take your patient from sickness back to health as depicted in our logo. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad. That was very inspiring. I will now invite my mother, Dr. Darshana Patel, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shaina. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to express our sincere gratitude towards the universe to have chosen us for the noble cause of serving mankind. Our heartfelt thanks to all our esteemed guests for being part of our celebrations. We are truly honored. A very special thanks to our today's speakers, Dr. Westin Nagvekar and Ms. Sumita Nayak, to have accepted our invitation to deliver an informative talk. We would also like to thank all our technology partners and appreciate all the representatives of the same. Also, a big thank you to our event planner, Sahil and Rutvik from Merake, our photographer, Mr. Prakkash and his team, and Team Westin. Thank you so much. I would request everyone to please join us for cocktail and dinner. Thank you, and have a night.